Welcome to Screw the Commute, the entrepreneurial podcast dedicated to getting you out of the car and into the money. With your host, lifelong entrepreneur and multimillionaire, Tom Antion.
Hey everybody, it's Tom here with episode 178 of Screw the Commute podcast. Today we're talking about digital information marketing, also known as DIM. And I kind of lovingly think you are a little dim if you don't do this, all right? And we'll get to that in a minute. And please tell your friends about the podcast. Go over to iTunes and sign up for it to subscribe. You can go to screwthecommute.com and it leads you to all the great places you can subscribe. And I know you know somebody that either wants to start a business or is already in business, and I would love to have some great tips. So get them over here to Screw the Commute podcast. Now, our app is now in the Apple Store. I don't know what it's called now since they're getting rid of iTunes, I guess. But you can just go to screwthecommute.com/app. That's APP. And you can get the app. You can get instructions on how to use all the fancy features. When you're in the car, it'll turn itself up and off and all over the place. So check that out at screwthecommute.com/app. And then make sure you grab your freebie for listening to this podcast. It's my $27 ebook, How to Automate Your Business. And, just tons of tips in there for both your cell phones and automating keystrokes. And if you get questions, the same questions all the time, it automates the responses. I mean, all the things I've used to handle up to 150,000 subscribers and 40,000 customers. And before I started hiring a bunch of people, I had one part-time temp person that didn't even handle any of that stuff. I handled everybody myself using these tools that are either cheap or free. So check that out. And also if you scroll down the page after you get that book, there's an extra surprise gift for you. All right, guess who our sponsor is this week? Like the last 170 episodes. It's me. It's me, Tom Antion, and the Internet Marketing Retreat and Joint Venture Program, where myself and my staff work with you for at least a year to either get you started in an internet business or to use the internet to take your existing business to the next level. You don't have to wait a whole year to make money. I mean, we have people making money within a month. I mean, and so if you're already in business, we can probably review what you've got going and increase that almost immediately. So you got to check that out at greatinternetmarketingtraining.com. And I'm going to put that in the show notes like everything we talk about in these episodes. And in case you wonder how to get to an episode, you go to screwthecommute.com/ and then the episode number. So this would be screwthecommute.com/178. That's what this episode is. But greatinternetmarketingtraining.com is the site for my mentor program. And it's very unique. I'll tell you more details about it later when we get done with the info marketing stuff. All right, let's get to the main event. Why should you do this? Why should you get in the digital information marketing arena? Well, one reason, it's extremely low risk. And another reason is it's extremely high profit margins. I mean, digital products are 97% profit. I mean, if somebody happens to give you a check, it's 100% profit. But most of the time, you've got a little credit card fee, so that's why we say it's 97% profit. And listen, yeah, you can do language lessons on Skype or Zoom. You could design logos one at a time. You could start a photography business or audio or video recording business. See, but all those things are trading time for money. Today, I'm going to concentrate on my work philosophy that I have been teaching since at least 1996, 7 or so, is work, get paid, and paid forever. All right? That's what information marketing is all about. It's not pie in the sky. It's not hocus pocus. I've been living this. Well, I sold my first ebook, I think, in 2001. All right, what's that? 18 and a half years ago. All right? And I actually have an information product that I created 28 years ago that's still selling. That's called an evergreen product. Now, that certainly wouldn't apply to my internet stuff, But I've still had internet stuff that sold for quite a while, but that usually needs updated. But some of the stuff you can sell for years and years or forever. And I can assure you there's going to be something for everyone here. If you don't get a ton of ideas from today's episode, you must be asleep at the wheel. And maybe you are already in some kind of business or even a bricks and mortar business. Well, I'll still have ways for you to bring in money from around the world while you're still running your local bricks and mortar business. And for those of you newbies, just in case you don't know, bricks and mortar means you have an actual building where you do business from that's not usually your home, and it's usually in a local market somewhere. Now, before we get into the types of digital information products, I want to talk to you about the topics for your information products. Absolutely, without a doubt, all right, how-to information will sell easier than fiction. And yeah, I know everybody talks about J.K. Rowling and Harry Potter and how rich she is, and there's obviously loads of others like Stephen King. And guess who's the winner of selling information products, all right? At least tied for the winner. And I'll give you a trick hint that I'll tell you at the end of the show or end of this episode who it actually is. The initials are BS. But I will tell you who's tied with him with 4 billion books sold. You probably never guessed this. Agatha Christie. I bet you didn't know that. But I'm going to keep you in suspense on who the actual winner was. But here's my point. For every best-selling fiction author, there's literally probably 500,000 broke fiction authors. And probably more. In fact, smart fiction writers use how-to information under a pen name to finance their fiction career. And, you don't even have to write a word or be halfway literate to create information products. So if you're worried, I can't write, I can't spell, none of that matters. In fact, I'm going to give you a method to create a massively great information product, and you don't know a thing about the topic. You just act as the publisher, and you get all the information that's expert level and that's not plagiarized for free. How do you like that? All right, so I'll tell you about that in a little while too. But bottom line, how-to information is a much more sure thing way to sell digital information products. All right, now here's another sidebar tip before we get into the types of products. Some of you may know about my eulogy and wedding books. Both of them sold very well for 9 years straight until pay-per-click charges got too expensive. That's how I drove traffic to the sites. It was only one-page websites that sold these. All it was the sales letter. The eulogy book netted about $42,000 per year, and my wedding speech and toast books about $72,000 a year. And I am thrilled with that income. They still sell a little bit today, but I just don't drive paid traffic to them. So I'm thrilled with that money. What I'm not thrilled with is that the customers of those ebooks never bought anything else. They were one-shot sales. I mean, the eulogy people just had a funeral coming up, and they're all distraught, and they're desperate, and they bought it, but they didn't care about it. Public speaking stuff that I sell or entrepreneurship or internet marketing stuff, they didn't care about that. So there was a one-shot customer. Same with the wedding books. They were, most of them were drunk guys at the bachelor party thinking, oh my God, I got to be on video tomorrow, and the bride is going to kill me if I screw up the video. So they bought the wedding speech and toast books. All right. So, but they were only one-shot deals. So what I tell my students now, and I mean, I didn't know any better in 2001, and plus I made a lot of money because it was easy to get a cash flow then, much easier because there wasn't as much competition. But what I tell my students now, when you try to come up with a topic, which I help them develop, and I have materials to teach them how to develop topics, and the first thing I'm going to ask them when they come to me with a topic is, what else could you sell that person that bought that first product? If they can't answer it, I do not let them develop that product. It's just a one-shot deal again. What I want is a product that leads to another product, that leads to another product, and the topic is such that a person buys everything. I wish you could see, well, when you come to my retreat center, because you non-dim people out there are going to see that this is massive value that we have here. But anyway, you come to the retreat center for an immersion weekend where you actually live in the house with me, this big estate home here. I'm looking right now through my spiral staircase into the other living room, where there's a 6-foot banquet table, 3 feet high, with tennis videos, because I'm a tennis nut, so I buy everything there is on tennis. Well, that's what I'm talking about. Now, I've bought from lots of different people, but there's some people I bought lots of things from out of that mess over there. Right? So a book or an information product should always lead to something else. Now, that doesn't mean it needs to be just a sales letter that makes people mad, because they still won't buy more from you if they didn't get value from what they bought. But still, nobody will complain if you give them a high-value product and there's spin-offs from that product that they will buy also. And if you keep giving them good value, they keep buying. I've had some people 28, 29 years buying stuff from me, even before the internet was around. All right, so let's get into the types of digital products. Well, there's only 2 types of ebooks that we deal with. One is the PDF ebook, and the other is the Kindle ebook, which is by Amazon. So basically, you start a Word document. I have complete episodes on how to do this, but PDF ebooks and Kindle ebooks, do not bother with Barnes and Noble's, Nook, and all these other Apple books or whatever there is. Amazon is the big kahuna, and there's deals that you can make with them where they'll give your book away. And you say, well, oh, great, who cares? Well, remember I just said the book should lead to something else? Well, it probably is a good time to tell you about a book I wrote in 4 hours at a layover at McCarran Airport in Las Vegas. And it's brought in $3.6 million so far, and anywhere from $7,000 to $15,000 a month still. Okay, and it's free. And you say, that's BS, Tom. What are you trying to BS here? No, it's not BS. Here's the basic method. You write a how-to book on how to do something, but the people can't do it unless they purchase this tool or whatever, the service. And you get a commission if it's not your product. If it is your product, you get all the money. All right, so that's the thing. So Amazon's Kindle has this deal that if you swear you won't sell the book at any of these other places, then they will give the book away for 5 days out of every 90. And there's ways that we teach you how to really get the number of giveaways way bigger than just with Amazon. So they gave away 2,500 copies of this book for me. And if you buy the thing in the book, I get $600 a year, okay, commission. So this is how you have to think, folks. And those of you in bricks and mortar stores, a lot of bricks and mortar stores use things like this to help finance and keep their local bricks and mortar store afloat. Because speaking of Amazon, I mean, that is one downside, is they crush little businesses. But the thing is that's the ways of the world. So if you can take advantage of Amazon with an information product and make up for them crushing you out of business, I mean, they might be doing you a favor, because you don't have to go to the store every day. You don't have to open the doors every day, or you don't have to cut grass or paint or whatever you happen to do for a living. See? And I'm not saying quit doing that stuff. I'm just saying adding these other information products to the mix at super high profit can really be an extra revenue stream for you. That's what I'm talking about here. All right, so some other things. White papers is basically the name of an ebook in the corporate market, basically. Special reports, industry reports. Listen to this. I once paid $183 for an 18-page report on the state, kind of like the State of the Union of email marketing, like open rates and, demographics and things like that. $183. Now, that was only good for a certain amount of time, but let's say they sold 500 or 1,000 of them. That's a lot of money. I bought them from Marketing Sherpa. It's still in business. So, yeah, probably because of my $183. All right. So if you were in a business or an industry that you could write an industry report and sell it for a lot of money, because if it's corporate money, they're used to paying big money for something. You don't have to worry about a $17 ebook in the corporate market. It can be hundreds or even thousands of dollars for special reports. See? Remember, I told you there's going to be something for everybody here. So there's corporate stuff, and the ebooks and Kindle stuff that I do are for little guy stuff. See, but they still made me a lot of money. I mean, when you think of 3.6 million over the years I've been doing it, it's probably close to $240 thousand a year just from that 1 4-hour investment that I did in a layover. See, I used my throwaway time. I could have sat there and watched TV or listened to music or something. I wrote an ebook that's brought in an enormous amount of money over time. See, so don't throw away your throwaway time. Okay, here's another idea. So I have the great honor of being the feature of a Hollywood documentary called The American Entrepreneur. It should premiere this fall. And of course, I jumped in and I said, I'm going to really make something out of this. So I'm figuring out how to help the production company do a premiere online, and I'm doing all this research, right? And I ran across these guys that had a DVD. They wrote a manual with it and then sold it to school. And it was going to be a $20 1995 DVD to retail to the public. So they wrote a manual with it, a discussion manual, and sold it to schools for $150 and sold hundreds and hundreds of them to schools. So that's the idea. If you have something that would lend itself to schools, write a discussion manual for the teacher, and then now you can get 10 times the money for it, all right, or close to 10 times the money for it. So there's another idea for you. All right, next type of digital products, a membership site. Now, membership sites aren't totally passive until you reach a certain critical mass point. So membership sites are where, and they're available on any kind of topic you can think of, but somebody pays either a monthly or a yearly or a lifetime fee to be a member of a private thing that's not available to the public. And by the way, a little bit later, I'm going to be teaching you how to deliver these things, how to make a membership site and how the shopping carts and all that stuff. So membership sites, you do have to put a little effort in, because especially if it's monthly, you got to make sure people want to stay in because you're providing stuff every week or every month. And if you don't, that's called, I think it's called churn, where people will just drop off after, because there's no value after they've seen everything that you have. So there's a little bit of work there, but it's what we call scalable. So if you did something with 100 members, like you had, let's say, a live call with 100 members once a week. So you spend an hour once a week, maybe an hour preparing for it. So you spend 2 hours a week and you got 100 people paying you for it. But what if you had 500 people paying you for it? You still only spent 2 hours. See, this is what we call scalable. What if you had 1,000 people? And there was an embroidery site. I wish I could remember the darn name of it, but they had 20,000 members. Mostly, I don't know if this is politically correct, but little old ladies, embroidery stuff. 20,000 members at $10 a month each, $200,000 a month. And all they gave them was one embroidery pattern a month, and that for $10. All right, 200,000. And a community started to build there. And then again, if it was 5,000 people, I mean, would you be happy with that money? All right, I think you probably would. See? So you can scale these things, but you do have to put stuff in. But once a community starts to build, I had a buddy that had a bunch of sites, membership sites on to help personal trainers get more business and be better personal trainers. And he told me one time he forgot to put stuff up, but he had so many people in there, they didn't even notice because they're discussing things amongst themselves and they didn't even miss him. So once you reach a critical mass, you can back off a little bit, but I kind of would be afraid to, because I wouldn't want that loads of people to start disappearing on me. Right? So anyway, that's membership sites. E-courses. These can be audio, video, written with some interaction with you, or some that just stand alone. I mean, I've had the first one I ever put out brought in $7,000, a free e-course the first week, because it taught you all this internet stuff. And then at the end, I had this $199 thing. It was, at that time, it was a CD-ROM that went even deeper into all this stuff. So loads of people watched the free e-course, and was delivered via email, via autoresponder, which I'll tell you about how to do that later. And they bought tons of these $199 CD-ROMs, because if you give something free, as long as it's 90% free, and 90% good information, and maybe 10% promoting something else, nobody gets mad. But if it was 90% sales and 10% good stuff, then people would unsubscribe and they'd never trust you anymore. See? So, but that can be delivered via an e-course. Now, you can also make courses through lynda.com, like Lynda, and Udemy, and I think Teachable has a platform, but I don't really promote that, because I want you to have your own website and get all the money. And I know that's daunting to a lot of people, but we got 80-some-year-old ladies making WordPress websites, and we have a inexpensive course on it. We'll have it in the show notes. I think it's like screwthecommute.com/WordPress e-course, I think. And you get all the money. And the investment was only $150 in the website. So you can do this and get all the money. Don't feel like, oh, it's too hard, and cry the blues, I'm not technical enough. Well, my WordPress e-course, we teach you how to do it, and then my tech guys back you up to make sure you don't screw anything up. All right, so it's like $97 to make a world-class website, and now you know how to do it. You can have as many as you want, just by getting a little knowledge. Because if you go to a firm, minimum it's going to be, I don't know, $2,000, $3,000, and then they're going to charge you a maintenance fee for nothing. I consulted with this dog training firm. The people charge them $43,000 for their website and $1,500 a month for maintenance. And I looked at it like, for what? You got a basic WordPress site here. We could have been done for $150. Some custom graphics, because it can be done on Fiverr, Fiverr.com, for $5, $10, $15. And the maintenance was nothing. It was like putting up another picture of a dog next week. It's just stupid. People get taken to the cleaners with this. So you can do it. All right, and also we use kickstartcart.com. This can be delivered e-courses. It's your autoresponder, your shopping cart, your affiliate programs, your coupons, your upselling, all of this stuff in one place. And I'm gonna give you some actual real numbers later on your investment for this stuff and how you really scale it if you really use the tools, because you're looking at $159 a month roughly to have a business to sell this stuff worldwide. Now, you can't find any kind of business. You couldn't get a deposit on a little crap storefront for less than, I don't know, $3,000 for the deposit and then the first month's rent. Come on. This is chump change to be able. That's why I say people are so dim if they don't get this in their head, that this is the best time in the world to be in this kind of business. The tools are all cheap or free, and I don't know. Don't get me on my high horse. All right. You can make straight products out of video, how-to videos, how-to audios are still selling. See, audio, just like this podcast, is the only thing you can learn from while you're doing something else. So people will pay for this. You got audible.com for all the business books, and I don't know if they have any how-to stuff there, probably. But you can create this stuff on unique topics, and you can interview people and all that, so you can have just direct products out of this. Now, here's something. I don't usually talk about stuff I haven't done, but I'm going to tell you about it in case it interests you or it's in your bailiwick. It's software, and software as a service. See, I am totally not technical, so for me to create a piece of software, which I could probably come up with the idea for it, I would have to deal with programmers, and one of us would kill each other because I'm a big picture guy and they're very, for them to do their work, they have to be very detail oriented. And so usually there's a clash there. And I don't understand their programming. And so I just don't want to do that. There's so many other options for me. But maybe you're like that stuff. I don't know. And then now we have software as a service. It's called SaaS. And see, it used to be when I first taught this stuff that it really mattered if you had a Mac or a PC because all the software was developed for PCs. And Macs, they were too bad. I mean, they were good for graphics and video and stuff, but nothing was developed as software for them. But now you just log on usually to a place. So now I don't care if you have a Mac or a PC, you can still make a fortune doing this. Now, another type of product is graphics. Now, here's the thing. I don't think it's the best idea. There's so many other things you could be doing than creating logos for people. See, that's work, get paid. Photography, work, get paid. And even if you take stock photos that you sell, there's so much competition and they give you nothing for them. So I can't see that. If you're good at photography and you do it for yourself, for your websites, great. And if you're really good at it, I just paid $97 for an iPhone photography course. It's awesome. So yeah, I can see that because that guy's selling that over and over and over and over. I think he sold 30-some thousand of them at $97 a piece, and the guy lives in Latvia. Okay. So yeah, you can do this. People selling fonts, but again, it's not my bailiwick. Now, the whole thing is, there is a thing called infographics that I think there would be a market for this. This is where you have a graphic that's got like statistics on it, or you can even have infographic sales letters. But if you just took a bunch of statistics and put them in infographics and sold them over and over, so you weren't making custom ones for one person, I can see you could make some money doing that, because I would buy it, because I'm always looking for something to jazz up my blog postings or my Facebook, this and that. And if it was an infographic that said, the percentage of people in online businesses and, any kind of statistics you run across, if you're good at it, you could turn it into an infographic and then sell that infographic over and over and over again. Probably not forever, because statistics change over time. But anyway, I could go along with that. Now, here's one I can really go along with. It's called templates. And I kind of helped a guy develop, and this guy was a family therapist, and he got into my mentor program, and now he's a full-time internet marketer for many years now. But he created, and I helped him develop, a set of article templates. This was back when I think he called himself the article marketing guy. Now, nowadays, articles kind of fell away to blog postings are treated differently. So you want to, even though it's the same information in the form of a blog posting, it'll do you better. But anyway, he sold these articles, and you just fill in the blanks with your information. And these were wonderful. I don't know how many thousands of these he sold. That was great. Another guy is selling media hooks. In other words, fill in the blanks of how you catch a producer's ear to get on radio or TV. Another guy's selling video sales letter blank scripts, and I have some of them. I have kind of a way to do video sales letters in my copywriting901.com course. I'll put that in the show notes too. One of my students now heard me do this seminar on a Facebook Live, and is a resume writer. So she's going to do resume templates because she's tired of doing one-on-one resumes. Dispute level letters, legal forms. I don't know if you have to be an attorney for that or not. Probably not. PowerPoint templates. I bought a PowerPoint template I've been using for years, but if I needed another one, I go back to the same person that made this one. So templates are great as digital products. Now this one is funny as heck. This is audio stuff. So I try to always promote people around me. Now, I had a guy cutting grass for me. I saw, he was doing a good job. I asked him if he's any good with computers. I brought him in one day a week to start working in my internet business, and pretty soon he was worth more in the internet business than cutting grass. So I hired him full time. He worked here for years and years. So then another guy comes out to the and starts working outside in the lawn and stuff. and like I'm always saying, hey, what do you do? What do you, you're doing a nice job. You ought to think about doing something online. And so so he comes into me one day. I'm just cracking up because I remember vividly how stupid I was here. Because I don't know anything about the hip hop world and all that stuff. I mean, if I tried to dance hip hop, I mean, the only good day I'd have is if I didn't hurt anybody on the dance floor. So he ran in one morning and he said, Tom, I took your advice. I'm selling beats online. and I'm thinking, what? You're what? I'm thinking BEETS, like the vegetable. He's talking about these. Still to this day, I don't know exactly what a beat is. I don't know. I guess it's boop, 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 boop. Is that a beat? Can I sell that? So it's like one of these Lucy skits where, Desi I mean, she's thinking one thing, he's thinking the other. So he keeps saying, yeah, I'm selling beets online. And I'm thinking, how did you have time to grow a garden and beets? So I finally got to the bottom of it. I said, oh, okay. Well, that's a digital product, Beats. There's companies getting big contracts. I was just looking for some audio editing tips last night on YouTube, and I ran into this guy, and he said, "Here's the 10 tips on something." And he was a beat company hired for 2 years by some big, I don't know, Hollywood production company, and he said, "Yeah, these other companies that were working on with us, they only got hired for 1 year. They really loved us and hired us for 2 years." So man, I still have no idea exactly what it is, but if you do, there's a market out there. Now, the opening and closing of this podcast was acquired from Mike Stewart, the internet audio guy. So he sells stock music. You can sell ringtones and sound effects. Stock music's probably better because ringtones, I don't know. I think stock music is way better because people were afraid to get copyright infringement from ASCAP and BMI, the music police, basically. So that can be great, but I'm not sure about selling beats, BEETS, online. So back to video, any how-to topics. You could sell comedy, but there's so many free comedians online. I don't know if I would try to do that. Now, there is one thing you could do is, and I just happen to know because one of my students is a stand-up comedian, but she's a more mature lady, let's put it that way, and she does retirement homes. And they're always looking for stuff. In fact, I had to give them their refund, which I can hardly remember how to do refunds because, we do high quality stuff with low cost. But it was make them laugh, and they thought it was a comedy routine, but it was for professional speakers, how to teach people to laugh. So of course I gave them their refund, and that wasn't right for them. But anyway, that's a big market, retirement communities and things. So if there's something appropriate, you might be able to sell into there. Now, another digital product is apps. Like I have Screw the Commute podcast app. Now, I paid $100 to have that developed, which is really cheap, only because the podcast host of mine, Libsyn, Libsyn, made that available. If I went out on the open market and had it developed, it would be way, way more. So if you're, the thing is, though, again, you're work for hire. So not my favorite thing. Now, but something that's a spinoff of that is games. If you developed an online game, that's a big field. Now, again, I have no idea how to do that stuff. If it makes sense for you, great. Or themes for WordPress. Now, you do have to keep them updated because if somebody pays you for a theme, And then, WordPress is already always updating. You got to keep it up to date, So again, I don't like that. All right, let's talk about delivering methods and money. Now, I'll tell you what, before we talk about that, I'll tell you about the method that you can create a quality product out of thin air and not know a thing about it and basically act as the publisher. So some of you may have heard this story before, so bear with me. So I'm sitting in first class going from LA, I think, to Charlotte, and I'm sitting next to a guy that appeared to me to be in his mid-40s, and in his seat pocket in front of him, he had a bunch of go-kart magazines. And so I said, hey, what's up with the go-kart stuff? And, oh, man, he lit up. He says, oh, man, me and my boys race them. I got 3 boys. And I said, oh, that's cool. So I said, how much does one of those cost? He said, oh, you can't get a piece of junk for $10,000. I'm like, $10,000? Are you kidding me? $10,000 for a go-kart? He said, yeah. I said, ours are about $30,000 each. Thinking, all right, I'm doing the math now. 3 boys, but you got $120,000 tied up in go-karts. But if you're racing them, he's probably got tires and engines, spare engines, and fuel tanks, and a trailer to haul them, and a monster truck to pull the trailer. And I'm thinking he's got several $100,000 tied up in these go-karts. So I'm brewing on this, and I'm thinking, hey, if I wanted to write a book on how to buy your first racing go-kart. All right, now, again, think of that thing I told you earlier. These people are fanatics on go-karts, so they're going to buy everything there is on go-karts, on how racing techniques and tune-up techniques and fuel mixtures and tire wear and braking. And I don't have any idea what you could get into, but you could sell stuff forever on this. So here's the method. Every topic on earth, just about, has what is called a discussion board or a forum, FORUM, or discussion board. That's the same thing, where people talk about a certain subject. And you can ask questions, and people answer, and they throw their 2 cents worth in, and this is how it works. Now, if you ever join any kind of discussion board, here's just a sidebar tip. You always what they call lurk. L-U-R-K, just lurk, just watch. Because if you come in and start doing something wrong, you'll get kicked off before you even get anywhere. See? So you don't want that to happen. So just see the culture of the group. It's always different. You usually can't come in and start promoting yourself, or they'll definitely kick you off. All right. So on the sidebar of most discussion boards, there's the person's nickname that made the comment. And a lot of times they'll have how many posts they have, and if you reach a certain number of posts, sometimes they call you a senior member. They tell you how long you've been there, when you joined, and everything. See, that's the discussion board. And so if I was going to write a book on how to buy your first racing go-kart, I would lurk around one of those things, and I would watch for the people that had the most, like senior members and been there for years, and thousands of postings and answers and questions. And I would approach them and I'd say, hey, I'm writing a book on how to buy your first racing go-kart. Could I interview you? All right, now, how many people that you asked do you think would turn you down? Okay. That's all they do is talk about go-karts all day long, right? So you interview them. How much do you think they would charge you for the interview? Nothing. Again, that's all they do all day long. Who do you think would be all proud that they're in the book and help you promote it? Okay. Same people. See? So you got all this content totally for free. You compile it, put it together in a book called How to Buy Your First Racing Go-Kart, and those people will promote it for you. They'll be so proud. Of course, you give them a copy for themselves, but for helping you, but they'll be so proud they'll tell everybody about it. All right, they'll probably get mentioned quite a bit in that forum, so other people would buy it or buy some for their kids. Who knows? But you could get a complete product without paying any royalties to anybody for free just by using that method. All right, so you're welcome, okay, for telling you that. All right. So let's get back to some other, what else we got here? Oh, let's get back to the delivery methods and the money. Well, kickstartcart.com is the shopping cart I have been using for now 18 years in the face of all of these fancy ones that cost 3 times as much, and mine will do 90% of what they'll do. But here's the thing, virtually 100% of the people that listen to this podcast wouldn't use all the fancy features that these shopping carts would use anyway. Right? So there's just no reason to pay $300, $400, $500 a month. In fact, I had one lady come to me. She was paying $4,000 a month just for a part-time person to operate this shopping cart that she had no clue and would never in a million years, she was such a newbie. She had no idea how to use all the advanced functions. And the cart was wonderful. It just was for a bigger company. But they attacked this market that didn't know any better, and people bought it, and then they all got rid of it because But I've had people, 1,500 users. I've had them for, years and years and years because it's way cheaper. And I'm going to show you the actual costs of these things to run this kind of business, including the shopping cart, as I get in the section later. But it's called kickstartcart.com. We give unlimited one-on-one tutoring to teach you how to use it. A mere mortal can use it. Some of the dumbest people I know can use it. So that's the main hub of your business right there. It runs virtually everything, and it still does for mine after, I've been doing this 25 years now. And in the beginning, oh my God, you had to pay $2,000 for a shopping cart that would barely work on one website and wouldn't do hardly anything. All right, so that's way water under the bridge. Now I have probably 70 different sites going through one cart, and I always tell people I could be selling bras on one hand and Bibles on the other, and nobody would know the difference. It's really, really, really powerful. Anyway, so that's the shopping cart system, and that can deliver your e-courses with the autoresponders and collect the money and all that stuff. All right. Now, the membership sites, of course, everything we do is based on WordPress. And we'd still have a part of my program is I have a membership site for my students from MemberGate. But I can't recommend that to anybody. That's $4,000. And I wouldn't even do it anymore, all right? But when the time came when my old membership site died on me, I needed something fast and reliable because I have all these obligations to these students. So that's what I have. But that's not what we teach anymore. We teach you how to do a WordPress site with a membership plugin, it's called, that costs you about $100 a year. So basically $9 a month or something to have membership functionality. There's another little plug-in that automates everything for you that's, I think, $40 a year. So you pay $10 a month to have this functionality. And you remember the embroidery site, 20,000 members, $10 a piece? I mean, if you did a fraction of that, you'd be happy, I suspect. All right, now collecting the money. Well, you can start with PayPal, which is free. Now, like all merchant processors, they're going to take a percentage of the sale. So you can start with PayPal. Now, the only problem with only using PayPal is there's a little bit of a stigma to it. Like people are thinking, if you're so great, how come you only have PayPal? Are you like a reject from eBay or something? So people have a little bit of problem with that. If you have a full-blown merchant account, though, there's fees involved, $30 to $50 a month, probably for sure, whether you use it or not. So there's fees involved, but it does knock down the stigma of only having PayPal. So we've actually seen sales increase for people 15% or more if they have a merchant account and PayPal, because now the stigma is gone of only having PayPal. But people do like to spend their PayPal money. So you can grow into that if you need to, but you can just start with PayPal. All right, now let me get into some examples. I call it ROMY, or return on monthly investment, instead of return on investment, ROI, or return on monthly investment. So let's talk about the cost to get into this business. So for the shopping cart, you're looking at $129 a month. You can buy a year for like $1,200 and get 2 months free. Well, let's just go on the monthly figures. It'll cost you about $10 a month to host a website. It'll cost about $20 a month for your theme on your website and the high quality website builder, not like the crap that you get from some of these other places. A high quality builder. It's going to cost you $20 a month to develop your website. So that's really cheap. So the whole thing is going to cost you $159 a month. And you use PayPal. So let me give you an example of really get your mind going on what this could mean. Even if I'll give you, before I get into the other examples, I'll give you an example of a landscape company. Now, across the street from me is an older couple. The guy just actually passed, but for the entire time I've lived here, 17 plus years, they have a landscape company that comes and does everything, trims the bushes, cuts the grass. They don't do a thing. And I don't know how much they're paying, but let's just say it was $100 a week. So they're spending $400 a month to have their beautiful little house over there. All right. So times 52 weeks, that's $5,200 a year they're paying a landscape company, which over 17 years, that's $88,400 just from that one house for that landscape company. It's the same company the whole time I've been here. So let's say that company put out the way they got the customer in the first place. They had an ebook telling you how the best ways to take care of your lawn. And that led that person to hire them to do it. Well, they'd only have to sell, if they sold that book, $7 a month to break even on their $159 per month just to have an online system. They'd only have to do $7 a month, or they could give the book away. Because which would you rather have? You clear $25 for the book. That's not too shabby. But I think that company would rather have that $88,000. All right, don't you? And and I don't know how many people would stick for 17 years, but even if they did one season, they made $1,200 from that book convincing that customer that they were good people to hire. So even with a local company like that, the book led to the bigger thing, which was their landscape contract. All right, but let me get into just some of the figures if you're doing everything online. So let's say you have a $27 ebook, very common price for an ebook, and you clear $25 each. You only have to sell 7 of them in an entire month to break even on your $159 investment to be in this business. That's pretty pitiful, all right? If you can't sell 7 a month, I mean, you're not even trying, or you picked a stupid topic. All right. If you sold 10 a week, which is more realistic, you'd make $1,000 a month less the $159. You'd clear $841 just from simple 10 a week of selling an ebook. All right, let's jack it up a little bit. Let's say you have a $47 e-course. Again, not very expensive for an e-course. I knew one guy that had a $1,500 e-course. Paid for a new BMW by selling it, all right? But anyway, let's say you had a $47 e-course. You'd only have to sell 4 in a month to break even. If you sold 10 in a week, you would make $1,760 minus your $159, you'd clear $1,601. All right, let's jack it up again. Let's say you have a $97 a year membership. I have one called AmazingPublicSpeaking.com. It's got 475 public speaking videos and how to be a pro speaker and everything. $97 a year. You'd only have to sell 2 in a month, and you're making money. All right. If you sold 10 in a week, that's $3,720. Again, less your $159. Notice how the $159 isn't getting any bigger. That's $159. You'd clear $3,561 a month. And this is the amount of money approximately this young girl that's in our school, young woman, I guess, politically correct, quit her job when she hit the $3,000 a month mark in her online business after only 2 months, by the way. I can't guarantee that you would do that, but it's certainly possible. All right, let's jack it up again. Remember I told you about the industry manual? I paid $183. Let's say you have a $197 industry manual. Just sell one in a month. You're making money. 10 a week. Listen to this. $7,560 minus your $159 equals $7,400 per month. Now, and I'm just giving you one example of one each. What if you were doing one of each of these and it kept growing on top of each other like I've been doing for years? Well, 7,560 plus 3,720 from a previous example plus 1,000 minus your 159, right, is 13,881 a month or 166,572 a year. All right, and these aren't pie in the sky figures. We do, for years, we did, 10 times that, see? So for only $159 per month. Now, I'm not trying to sell you a $159 package, although I would be happy to. I really want you to get in my mentor program to teach you how to do all this stuff. And it's a program where I partner with you. So you pay an entry fee. I've really made the gurus mad because people at my level were charging 50 or 100 grand up front to teach you this stuff. So I said, that's a ripoff. Most of them won't help you anyway. A lot of them can't even make their car payments, and they're trying to tell you how to get rich. So I'm living in this big mansion, and I was making $100,000 a month when a lot of them were in diapers. So anyway, I want you to be in a mentor program because I can teach you how to do this. But I partner with you. So you pay an entry fee, but then I get a percentage of your profits that's capped. So I'm not going to disappear on you because if I don't stick with you, I won't get my big money. All right. So the currently the cap is $50,000. And for me to get my $50,000, you've got a net $200,000. And I've been doing this for 20 some years and people seem to like that idea. So we've had 1,700 students. All right. Now, do all of them make their 200,000? No. But a great many of them that actually do the work and don't get sucked in by some magic bullet that some guy's BSing you or some woman is BSing you about. Everything you need is right here. We have subject matter experts. And also, what makes this so unique is it's one-on-one. You're not lumped into a group and just good luck to you after you gave me a lot of money. You have one-on-one with me, my subject matter experts, Lakia, Travis, Jennifer, Larry, Mark, all of these people will help you one-on-one. And we'll even take over your screen and show you where to click and do all this stuff. And then the other unique feature is you have a immersion weekend here at the retreat center. A very small group. Average is 5 or 6. The most we ever had was 10. But we shoot videos for you. The videos we shoot for you here, I've seen them at trade shows going for $700 to $1,500, quote, on sale, seminar price for just one. We had somebody 2 weeks ago come in and shoot 21 of them here. All right. So my students, we have a whole TV studio here. So you get access to that. Another unique feature, we have the only licensed dedicated internet marketing school in the country. And you get a scholarship to that. That's where the young woman, her dad joined the mentor program and gave the scholarship to her. And within a month, she was making $1,100 a month. 2 months later, over $3,000 and quitting her job. And she's still got 4 to 6 months left in the school. Right? So this is a fantastic program to teach you how to do this stuff. And it's extremely low risk, massive returns. So I really want you to get in the information marketing business in one way or the other. Now, if you apply yourself and get the simple tools needed, kickstartcart.com. We'll tell you if you get in touch with me, orders@antion.com, or we'll have it in the show notes, the membership plugins that you need, a couple of them, and, of course, PayPal. You know what PayPal is. You could be sitting home watching orders come in to your tablet while you're watching Netflix. Seriously, no joke. I've been doing it for many years, and so have my students. Now, I know you're wondering, I haven't forgotten about the best-selling author with the trick initials. So the initials were BS, which that's what you get from a lot of people that do these podcasts and try to sell you internet services, and they're broke. They can't make their car payment. but so it's a little bit of a trick question. The answer to the best-selling author of all time was William Bill Shakespeare. William Shakespeare was up there with Agatha Christie and sold, I think, 4 billion books. You imagine that? So anyway, that's our story for today, digital information marketing. I want you in my mentor program. Check it out at greatinternetmarketingtraining.com. We finance for you with no credit check, no interest. If you need better financing with the down payment and stuff, all you have to do is get in touch, orders at antion.com, and we'll do whatever we can. I'd rather you be with me where I know you're not going to get ripped off and you're going to get a high-quality business education that could change the outcome for you and your family. I mean, seriously, I teased about this a lot. You know, if you don't join, it's not going to change my lifestyle one bit. All right, but might change yours a little bit if you did. So check it out. If you have any questions, give me a call. But digital information marketing is the way to get security for you and your family and turn it into a lot of big bucks. Okay, folks, I will catch y'all on the next